What's up, everybody? It is time again for another random live because we have nothing to do. So I put I put up a post on my personal Facebook not that long ago, and the funny thing about it was I was listening to a song we'll get to in a little bit. The only one to really have a conversation with me about the subject was the man I have with me here, Caleb Hansen. How are we doing, buddy?
I'm doing good, man. Yeah, this is a interesting conversation. It kind of takes me back, way back to like high school and stuff. But yeah, it's a cool subject that I haven't talked about in a while.
Yeah, I mean, and to not beat around the bush any longer. I mean,
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
yeah, it's like not to beat around the subject. You can obviously see the title here. It's Christian music favorites and where is it? Basically, a music edition of Where Is It Now? So it's definitely something worth talking about because before,
Yes, indeed.
because before it was what was it? Groups like DC Talk or Lion K, Switchfoot was still going strong today, but it's like they were different. They were good. We'll get to our favorite songs in a second here, but it's just they were creative in their wording and everything else was just awesome about it. Like the DC Talk song "Love's a Verb," I was like, "That's cool, that's awesome," you know. And then today you got "Shake" by Mercy Me. The same year, "Shake It Off" comes up by Taylor Swift, and I'm like, "Oh, where have we gone? How far have we fallen?" So, Caleb, what do you think about some things you want to talk about before we get to our lists and kind of go from there?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think the whole like crux of the situation is that I feel like there's nobody really trying to make like good Christian music anymore, and it's just kind of like sellable Christian music. It all kind of comes down to just trying to sound as much like what's popular now as possible. Whereas, I mean, I think 10, 15 years ago, it was a much different landscape, and people were doing original things, and it was worth listening to.
If not original things, they were doing original takes. Like friggin' again, DC Talk was doing. I think it was "Lean on Me." Their rendition of "Lean on Me," which
Yeah,
didn't have a rap line, so to speak, for Toby, but they wrote one anyway, and it just worked. The vocals on it were just awesome. So having to go from there, I would say for me, DC Talk is the benchmark.
which is
And
which is interesting because there's a lot of. I feel like there's a ton. I was actually looking in, like preparing for this, looking into a lot of like old school Christian hip hop, and there was a lot. There was a lot better than DC Talk.
oh yeah,
But DC Talk is the benchmark in that they were the one that like crossed over and people knew about.
yeah, and they even said that it's like if we cross over, we're bringing the cross over, which I was like, that's cool.
Yeah.
I was like, that's dope. But yeah, I mean, you saw I'm not sure if Grits was there back in the day, but Grits was there.
Yeah, Grits was one that like
So,
it's in my honorable mentions.
yeah, but yeah. So why don't we just get to the top 5 of our favorite Christian songs, and then we'll kind of go from there. These can be Christian like worship, hip hop, whatever. So why don't you start with your like? Let's start with 5 and kind of go up from there. What would be your number 5?
All right, my number 5 is one that people probably have never heard of. I'll preface my list by saying that I went exclusively with bands that aren't your traditional worship songs. I mean, like shout out to Michael W. Smith and all these Stephen Curtis Chapman, Keith Green. I love them. They're great, but that's not what's on my list.
Okay.
So starting out, my number 5 is one that you've never heard of unless you've watched Veggie Tales, the Larry Boy and the Rumor Weed.
Oh no!
But my pick is the W's. They were like a new swing band in like the early 2000s. They played like kind of Alley Cat or Stray Cats, kind of that swing big band kind of sound.
Okay.
So they had a huge huge impact on my life in that, like, because of that I got into a lot more swing and ska music. They had one song called "You Are the Devil and the Devil Is Bad," which is like one of the funniest Christian songs I've ever heard. They're just so freaking good, and like I kind of want to pull up that song just to play a bit of it. But yeah, those guys really slapped in a niche of a niche of a niche. It was like, all right, so ska is like a niche of rock and roll, and then you got Christian ska, and then you got swing way down here.
So that Venn diagram is just spot about that big where all of them overlap.
Exactly.
And that's what you're talking about. And that's the W's. Okay.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, my good friend, one of my oldest friends, he got me into them like when I was like 13. They were just so cool. Like, I don't know, by being cheesy and old school, they were cool somehow because they were original. Like, I still have never heard anything that sounds like the W's in secular music. Even like they're very different, but they were super cool to me.
Yeah. Let's see. And now here's the funny thing. You're probably coming at this from more of the 90s kind of. Grew up in that decade. I was born halfway through, so I wasn't really listening to music until it was in the 2000s. Even then, it was more of my mom's Gaithers and such. So steering away from all the traditional worship stuff like the Gaithers, which I'm like, stay over there. We'll get to you. One of mine. Let's see. My number 5 is. I think it's song now. I should have written these down. My number 5 would have. Oh man.
Yeah, I wrote them down, but I didn't have like a tier list of them. So like I'm just kind of making the number list right now. But I at least wrote them down.
Yeah. My favorite one, I remember this is my number 5. Do you remember when?
No.
Oh wait, I don't know if we should count this for Veggie Tales though. Oh, nuts. Okay, I'll save that one for that one then. It's still by the Newsboys.
Hang on.
Okay.
Hang on for a second, because I actually got it.
Can barely hear it.
But anyways, let's go ahead and move into where they sing.
Yeah. Like I was saying, my favorite like Newsboys song from back in the day was definitely. I think it was everyone's favorite too. It was That's awesome. That's awesome. But yeah, I think are you okay? It's just freezing. Yeah, I think one of my favorites.
Love that song, man. It's so good.
Nice.
Anyways, so back to the Newsboys.
Right. My favorite, probably the same as everyone else's from back in the day, is definitely Breakfast by Newsboys. Because it had one of those kind of guitar intros that just kind of riffed and, oh, he gone. Okay, there he is. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I hear you fine.
Okay, good. Okay, cool. Just checking because you blinked out there for a second. I wanted to see if you were still connected. So we're good. But yeah, it was just, it had that, you know the song, and so it had that nice guitar intro, like ding 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 ding. The way I'm doing it makes it sound like a banjo, which is not the case. Well, it's it's just the whole song.
Here,
Just
here.
yes, that. As soon as I heard those first few licks, I was like, "This is." As soon as I, it's like as soon as I heard those first few licks, I'm like, "This is a good one," and it just you like amped because I think I remember being at Creation, which is a Christian music festival thing that happened over like days. Back in
Oh yeah, we had one in the Midwest called Cornerstone that was pretty huge.
oh, that's dope. But yeah, I went there. What was it? I went there one year, and I really do think this. They had like cannons of like Captain Crunch just shoot out at the crowd, which I was like, "That's so dope! That is so dope!"
Yes.
You know. But yeah,
That
that's just
like I feel like Newsboys. I really do like their early stuff. I feel
mm,
like they kind of fell off when they got older
mm,
in this like newer age.
yeah,
They've gone a little bit more generic, a little more poppy, but their early albums are just great to listen to.
yeah, definitely. Let's see. Well, so what's your number 4?
Okay, number 4. See, this is one that did cross over into the secular charts, and um, I don't know. I think a lot of people might not even know that they're a Christian band.
Mm-hmm.
They don't specifically put it in like worship lyrics and stuff. But my number 4 is MXPX.
Okay, never heard of them.
They started in the really you've never heard of MXPX? Okay, so this was a weird band because it kind of I grew up in a family that is very Christian, and they were pretty limiting of what I was allowed to listen to when I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
I pretty much grew up on like oldies and Christian music.
Mm-hmm.
But so MXPX was in that like early 2000s pop punk Christian movement that was uh, popular in the late 90s and early 2000s. But so they had songs like there was one called Chick Magnet, which is one of the best like pop punk bass lines you ever heard.
Mm-hmm.
Just like doom 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 doom. Nope, that's Green Day. I totally messed it up. Anyways, uh, yeah. Anyways,
That's
but
great.
MXPX they had that longevity of being a Christian band, and they did have some songs that talked about religion and stuff, but the
Mm-hmm.
majority of their stuff was just uh, about being positive and having a good time.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, MXPX, they're such a badass band, and
Yes.
yeah. So I guess that's it.
Yeah. All right. So let's see here. My number 4, if I had to go for like a specific song, would actually be from Toby Mac's debut singles project album thing, Momentum, which is my favorite, and
Okay.
it's the album title song, Momentum, because it just kicks in. It's like there's the track before it played like a couple seconds of an extra thing, and then it's like as soon as track 8 flips over, or clicks over, whatever. It's not a tape, so it doesn't flip over, but you get as soon as it like clicks over. I guess it's so weird growing up in the '90s because we
Yeah.
had cassettes. Which, by the way, when we get to Veggie Tales, I have a funny story. Um, but it's
That
just
CDs, records, even I gotta go back.
yeah. I mean, they're bringing vinyl back, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, getting back to it though.
Sure.
it's just no. Sorry, not Momentum. I misspoke. My favorite song from that album is actually Extreme Days, because I saw the what's it called, the music video for it, and it was like the first music video of Toby Max I saw, and I was like, this is awesome. Back when he had his own website, like everyone else did, and I was on it every day like a nerd. It's like, yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, and like towards like the middle like interlude of the song, there's literally Stone Cold Steve Austin basically being remixed into the song, going, "Ain't nobody," it's like, "Ain't nobody stop me." And that's the bottom line. And I was like, I know that voice. That's so dope. But then for the music video, they took it out. And I was like, "Where's the thing? I like the thing," you know. But I definitely enjoyed that. That was definitely one of my favorites. It was a go when I first started working out. Like when my mom would take me to the gym or whatever, that was my go-to. Like get pumped, like just start lifting stuff. Like, let's go. After that, I'm just like, I'm good.
Oh, I mean, this is a perfect like workout song for sure. Like, I don't know if you can. I'm playing a little bit, but like it was like a major departure for Toby Mac, coming from DC Talk.
Mm-hmm.
It was a totally different sound with this album. Like, I mean, they went. Dang it! I don't know if you heard me. Sorry. They went from like Run DMC to like rap rock. Like Limp Bizkit. Yeah. Like.
Oh.
So it was I mean, okay, better than Limp Bizkit, but that sound.
I know, but it was just like out of all the names you could have pulled, that one. I was like, oh.
It was the first rap rock song or band that came to mind.
That's fine. It's fine. But yeah, that's definitely one of my favorites, because I remember getting
that. Could have done POD.
Yeah. It's like I remember getting that CD for Christmas, and I was like, this is so awesome. And then it was like, as soon as I turned like 13, 14, I realized every time he has an album come out, he comes out with a remix and a new album, remix, new album, remix. Like, I'm getting real tired of this. I got real bored real quick of his music. I was like, that's cool and all, but save some remixes for like, you run out of ideas. Maybe it was studio mandated. I don't know.
Like I would like some remix about now, and instead of some of the stuff he's doing now. But yeah, I totally agree. You should have saved some of them.
It's like KJ Fatu, who's also on my list, literally was just like, okay, I got this many out, this many songs, whatever. I think it was an 2007 release of his first album, which had a couple of new songs on it, which I was like, dope. And then, like years down the line, he remixed a couple of his songs, and they just sound good. It's like he had 47 It was a 47 pop stars, and he had like 18 more. In parentheses, like 18 plus 18 more. And I was like, that's so cool, because he was able to expand on it and just redo the song a little bit. He put both Dear Slims together on one album. And I was like, that's so cool. But enough about me gawking over someone who's going to be like probably my top three. So, speaking of top three, what's your bottom third? What's your bottom third?
My lower third. So number 3 for me is another band whose first 2 albums I feel like made a really big impact on my life in terms of what I listen to now. Again, I'm not super happy with what they're doing lately, but the band Skillet, those first 2 albums, like, changed my freaking life, man. I literally today I was listening to that first album, their self-titled album, and just like every track on it is freaking hard-hitting gold, man. Like I Can, Gasoline. Like, listen to this. that opening riff, it just like
Nice. Very nice.
Like, yeah. And that's the opening track on their self-titled album. It freaking rocks, man. Skillet back in the day was just get you pumped up, get you moving, and like also was praising God. It's a byproduct.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, let's see though. My number 3 though would have to be one of the first bands I listened to, if I'm remembering this correctly, which would have been Switchfoot. And I'm talking like the beautiful down Switchfoot. And because I heard of 1,000 Foot Krutch, I didn't know them. Like I knew there was a band name. Never heard them until recently, and I'm like, I need more.
Yeah. Speaking of those two bands that you just brought up, like those are another two bands that actually made that jump over. Like they were on alternative stations and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Switchfoot was on MTV. Like, they were like a legit like band back like in the early 2000s.
Yeah. But it's like one song from their beautiful Letdown album. Oh, which one was it? It was either Ammunition or I think it was Dare You to Move, or like my two favorite off that album, respectively. And they're right there. And I was that
was the video that was on MTV.
Nice. Yeah, I'm not gonna do that because I can't. Yeah, no. We would do that disservice, and I'm like, I don't want to do that. But definitely good song. I remember getting I don't want to call it a demo track, but it was like the demo CD, I guess, of it. Where it had like a few songs and like interviews. And there was one song that just kept getting played in the background. I forget what that song was because when I got the whole album years later, I was like, oh, that was the song, and this song is amazing. Why do they talk over this song? And I forget what that song is, and I'm so mad. I know. But yeah. Sub to my number 3. Yeah. What's your number 2?
Cool. All right. So, this is
after our number 2 is a list of honorable mentions before we do number 1. Before we say our number 1, so I'll get like number 2, honorable mentions, 1. That's usually how a countdown works, anyway.
Sounds good. So my number 2, also, oh man, okay. Dang it. I'm gonna switch it. I'm gonna say my number 2 is the band that's the first album that I ever bought was Upbeats and Beatdowns by this band. Okay. They're a third wave ska Christian band that just rocked my socks, dude. They were so good, and they did have a lot of Christian lyrics, lyrics about God and stuff and praising him, but there were also songs that were just fun. Like they literally had a song about different strokes.
Okay.
The I don't know if you know Different Strokes. The old Gary Coleman. What you talking about?
Yeah.
Like, of course, it's Arnold and Willis and Mr. Jackson, and don't forget Kimberly. But yeah, they had a big big impact on my life. My older cousin, shout out to Bud. He got me. I listened to this album, and then the next week I came home from Minnesota, and I went to my church's bookstore and bought this album.
Your church had a bookstore? Lucky.
Oh yeah, Moody Church in Chicago. They're huge.
Lucky. Oh.
But yeah, Five Iron Frenzy. They were those dudes, man. They slapped so hard, and also it if you knew me in the early 2000s, I was very much so a ska kid. I was like, I'm listening to ska. I was wearing like suit jackets and a fedora. Like I was full on like skanking it up, man. I
Nice.
was all about ska.
Nice.
And
Yeah.
that was because of Five Iron Frenzy. I got into ska because of Five Iron Frenzy, and that led me into punk, which led me into metal. But yeah, Five Iron Frenzy kicked off my whole.
Yeah.
Other than oldies, which I love oldies too. I'll go all day on Motown and Beatles, Beach Boys, all that stuff. But Five Iron Frenzy kicked off my love of contemporary music.
Yeah. Let's see here. My number 2. Dag, I'm down. My number 2 is actually I'm not gonna say sadly enough, but it is by Stephen Curtis Chapman. It's not your traditional worship song. It's literally the song "Live Out Loud," which is something I was like my jam when I was a kid.
Okay.
And
La, 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 la.
yeah, I bought the
I
song.
thought
And
you
I
were
was
gonna
just
say.
like,
I thought you were gonna say "Dancing with the Dinosaur" because that's another good one.
no, I actually never heard of that song.
Really?
Really, I haven't heard that one. Again, I was a '95 kid, so I didn't hear much of this, and my mom was just Anyway, so that was the first song, other than some of the Switchfoot stuff, that when I picked up a guitar, I was just like, I want to play this song. This song rock. This song kicks, man. It doesn't slap. It kicks. It's not there yet, but it kicks is for kids.
Yeah.
And I don't mean the cereal. But yeah, definitely a good song to try and play. I found out the chords aren't as easy as I thought they'd be.
Huh.
So I think I haven't looked at the song in a while, which probably tells you where it's been in my head for a while. But when it comes to Christian songs, it's like it's up there. It always puts me in a good mood. It's like, yeah, this is good. It's like I'll be on my scooter, like going 50 miles an hour downhill, like yeah, and then just yell this thing on top of my lungs. It's awesome.
Yeah.
And then when I'm at stoplights, I get weird looks from everybody, and I'm like, you were like rolling up their windows. Sorry,
Heck yeah,
rolling up
rocking
their
that,
windows.
rocking out that Stephen Curtis Chapman. Yeah, man.
But yeah, now let's get to some honorable mentions here. I think this kind of be a good conversation-ish piece.
Okay.
So why don't we just go one for one, go back and forth like we've been doing? So what's one of your honorable mentions for this list here, like songs or band?
Well, I already mentioned Grits. The what's it called? I think it's just called Ooh Wee.
You mean Ooh Ah with Toby Mac in it?
Yeah, my life be like ooh. That's it. Ooh,
Yeah.
Yeah. That song was like the soundtrack of my youth group, man. It was all the time. That and Reliant K. Reliant K were real huge.
Do you remember?
I love Reliant K, but I want to say like I didn't put them on this list specifically because the conversation we had was about originality and stuff.
Yeah.
And Reliant K was one of the worst they straight up ripped off Blink-182 songs and then just wrote their own thing over them.
Yeah.
But I loved them at the time.
Yeah. I mean, and to be fair, on that same point, KJ did that at least a couple of times. One was, I think that on collaborations, it was The Choice Is Yours. He did that with John Rubin. And I love that song to this day. And I'm like, it's even funny because I played that exact song for my kids, my children's ministry not my kids. No, I have my children's ministry at my church when I used to go to.
Gotcha.
And I was playing over the loudspeakers, and the adults got confused with the older song. They're like, "No, this is KJ52's version. This is not the song you're thinking of. It's the same beats, literally, string for string, same beats, but different song." They're like, "You got to change it." I was like, "Fine." It's also no fun. Don't get the music, man. But yeah.
Don't get it. Another honorable mention is the first, besides Skillet, the first like hardcore metal band like that had the screaming vocals and stuff that I ever heard in Christian music. They're not the first metal band I ever heard, but the first Christian metal band I ever heard was Project 86, and
really?
they slapped, dude. I know that's a kid's expression, but man, they really rocked it. And then for some reason, Jars of Clay's first album was a really big one for me.
There's only one song I've heard of from Jars of Clay, and I think I got it. It's called Dead Man. And
Dry
I love
Bones was another good one. Dead Man, yeah.
That was like one of my favorite songs. I was like, I'm just a dead man lying on the carpet, can't find a heartbeat. And just that whole chorus is just, it's a banger. It's awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
But
I that's the cool thing is like all of these that we've mentioned, like you can put these on and rock out to them. They're they're legit good songs. Like you don't have to be a Christian, you don't have to agree, but like these are legitimately just songs that get you up and moving and having a good time.
Yeah, and it's just it's funny that you say that because it's like I don't know how else to do this. I'll save this transition for elsewhere because I got 3 songs now that are for my VeggieTale list, and they're going to be my honorable mentions. And I'm like, yeah, it's that Venn diagram of VeggieTales and what we're talking about. And I'm like, it's right there in the middle. I was like,
are we not doing a top 5 VeggieTales too? Because that's what I have written down.
Oh no, we are. But I'm saying it's like I'm not going to mention those until we do VeggieTales.
Gotcha.
So it's like I got that. Like I said, my Venn diagram's like right in the middle, like right here, and they're all 3 of these songs are right. My frontal lobe are right there, and I'm like, yeah, let's look them down. But yeah,
oh good. I did prep. That's why I'm doing so well.
No, that's fine. It's fine. I was playing Saints Row the Third, so it's all right.
There you go.
Which I won.
Well, listening to Newsboys, it was great.
Oh yeah, take me cheerleader while I'm fighting Zenyak. It's great.
Yes,
it fits so well. I'm surprised how well it fit.
That's incredible.
But yeah, speaking of Take Me Cheerleader, it's like that one and Step Up to the Microphone are my other 2 favorite Newsboys songs.
Yeah, those are. I mean, besides also being title tracks on their albums, those are really good songs.
See, here's the thing. I didn't know that when I got them because I got them on a. Remember when they used to do like fill in the blank, what's it called, band or person, top 8 hits? I had one of those CDs. It was like Shine, Not Ashamed. What else was on there? Breakfast. Take Me to Your Leader, Step Up to the Microphone, and like 2 others I'm missing off the top of my head. I can get the songs that are on there.
Yeah, those are pretty good ones. I
Yeah,
feel like the first 2 are kind of where they started getting like going downhill a little bit.
Yeah.
The first 2 that you mentioned, but later in their career, and that's not. I want to be clear. I'm not bashing them. They decided to go more like pure worship, and that's fine. It's just not my preference. I prefer like to have like. I mean those songs that you mentioned, like they're still about Jesus. They're just also fun and cool.
Right. Like the song "Take Me to Your Leader" is just like it's great because they literally reference like Jezebel, and I was like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
But it's like it's so dope. Let's see here. I'm still trying to find it. Which albums? 8 hits. Yeah, I'm trying to find 8 great hits. Whatever. I'm not gonna find the songs for it. Sorry. So let's go.
All good.
Newsboys.
Who else was big for me at the time? Just to keep it going. So I'm looking at Google now, just looking at Christian rock bands, and they have Flyleaf on here, And
Wow.
I didn't know they were a Christian band. I've never would have figured that out. So I don't know if that just means that some of the members are Christians, but yeah, I don't know.
Oh, Entertaining Angels and Joy were the other two songs on there, and Joy was another one of my favorites too.
Joy is a really good one.
And Reality. It's reality that welcomes us back. Because
Yeah.
that was a good one. Okay, yeah. So now I scratched that itch. We're good. So,
Good stuff. Good stuff.
yeah. So let's get to our number ones here. Before actually,
did you have any honorable mentions that weren't?
I do. There was one, John Rubin, and I had a CD that was made for me. John Rubin, and still one of my favorites. There was Do Not, and there was Do Not, Divine Inspiration, and a few others I can't think of off the top of my head were good. And it's just, those were like literally the soundtrack to my life, and it was just awesome. So yeah, but John Rubin's definitely worth an honorable mention on that one, because he couldn't find a place on this list because they were just so, the things are so, it's a tight-knitted circle here, and it's awesome. But yeah.
Indeed. All right, so my number one then is legitimate. Like, okay, so 3 of these bands I've seen live. This is the one I've seen the most live, and I actually switched it to my number one because of that. Even though I like Five Iron Frenzy more, but this band crossed the divide between Christian and secular so well that they got a song that's literally about like a relationship with God on the freaking X Games soundtrack. Like, they were the sound of the X Games, and that's POD, or Payable on Deck.
Okay. Nice.
I mean, you got songs that were literally all over the radio. You got Alive, you got Southtown, you got Boom, like boom, here comes the boom, here comes the
wait, that's
from the
that's
South.
awesome.
Yeah, that's POD. Alive is I feel so alive.
I'm gonna make that a trivia question now because I know what movie that's in. Continue, sorry.
Nice.
You see this question, soundtrack question, nice.
Yes, but I also feel like they've kind of had this like weird little resurgence of people playing on YouTube, people like reacting to their stuff because they were like a legitimate rappers and like a good, or well, the lead singer was a legitimate rapper, Sonny, and their band, the band was just ridiculous. I mean, their early albums when Carlos was on guitar, those freaking like licks were so good.
Yeah.
I mean, but yeah, so their resurgence has kind of come from like people just being like, oh, well, we're gonna check out this band, but like the song Youth of the Nation has gotten, at least for me, has shown up in my feed like tons of times. People are going nuts for that song.
Nice.
Because it's a kind of timeless, you know. Do you know that one? All right, so well, check it out because it's really good. But it's about it's basically about like the world from a high schooler's perspective. So like at first they tell a story, and this was like right after Columbine. So the first verse is a story about a school shooting. The second verse is, you know, being a girl, like trying to grow up and like navigate the world in this day and age. And the third verse is about just being an outsider. And then like, you know, so it's super relatable and doesn't really have anything to do with Christianity in itself. It's just like kind of this weird like celebration / mourning of the youth of our culture, which is like really important and impactful in this day and age.
Yeah, definitely. Man, you had
so
a
yeah,
good
that's
one.
Got to be my number one.
Yeah, you had a good one for number one. Me, I'm just like, I has DC Talk.
Yeah.
But it's like,
I want to
no,
hear your
like,
talk
it's like,
though.
it's like, but here's the thing. It's like, you were just like, this awesome, just like meaningful song. And I'm like, I has DC Talk. That's how I equate her. And it's like, I has this other band everyone knows. You know,
I will say DC Talk had a huge impact in getting me into hip hop. And they had some good albums. I had like 3 of their albums. They were so good at also mixing, at a time when when hip hop was very like segregated.
Yeah.
Where like you couldn't be a white boy rapper. They had 2 white rappers and a well they had a white rapper, they had a black rapper, and then they had Toby Mac, who was the singer.
Nope, scratch that, reverse it.
And like yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. But like that was so interesting too. It was like, oh, white people can do this and do it pretty good. Again, they were that old school hip hop sound that a lot of people thought was corny and stuff. That's why I compared them to Run DMC.
Oh, Run DMC. No, I'm thinking some of that. Sorry.
But yeah, they were huge, man. They had a big impact on Christian youth of my age group.
Yeah. It's like even today, some of the songs still hold water. It's like literally the song "Colored People." I'm like, are you serious? That this is still relevant today? It's like this. This is how you make a song that'll not only be meaningful when it's written, but it's meaningful for a long time.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
Literally, you can't go anywhere without anything being racially sensitive or motivated or whatever. That's why I love on one of the other albums. I think it was the Lean on Me album. I love this. They literally had a song called "Two Honks and a Negro," which I was like, that is hilarious.
Yeah, that was so good too. That was such a good song.
It was so good. It's like those are like right there. I was like, the comedy aspect, I gotta go with that latter one, which is awesome, which is funny. But then Colored People, I'm just like, it works so well.
Or even there's that song, one that had a big thing for me, was that song "Jesus Freak," which was like a totally fun song, but at the same, they're talking about some serious shit, like especially in the world today, like it's so unpopular to be Christian nowadays. But like that song is very relevant.
Right, and it's so much fun to go back and just listen, because the best part is it's been done over twice. Once by the Newsboys when Michael Tate was there, and they did it with Jesus Freak was done with Newsboys when Michael Tate joined, and they had KJ52 do the rap part.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And I think Toby did it not that long after either. So they both had the same kind of like thing to it, which is awesome. Yeah, I was like, that's so dope. And also looking back on one of the things, I'm not sure which one came first, but I know on 7th Avenue, speaking of KJ had, what was it? The Hard Way, which is almost beat for beat the same song DC Talk did. And I was like, yeah. I'm not going to judge it. They're both awesome. They're good.
Yeah, there you go.
But yeah, that's definitely for the number ones there. But yeah, that was just so much fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
I kind of want to put on, like, just play like the chorus of Jesus Freak. Wait. That's not it.
That's so great. But yeah, they even did, what was it? They even redid, DC Talk even did an old hymn and just modernized it, and it's still a good song. I forget what song it was now, and I'm so mad. I know it was on the Lean on Me thing. Hold on, let me go back and find it.
Yeah.
song was it? It was Free at Last. That's the song it was. It was Free at Last. And I'm just like, that is so cool that they did. Yeah.
Denying the truth.
So good.
It's like, man, that's like I would like disclaimer or whatever. I'm not a huge Jesus freak, but that song is like so good.
Yes.
And it does like, and it does like, you know, it speaks to like, I mean, people nowadays are like being called like homophobic for believing something. It's weird to me.
It's a whole there's a whole bigger discussion with religion and politics and science that we can kind of talk about the Venn diagram of those three in just on it for its own podcasting. But
yeah, that's a much more serious podcast, which I am not in any way qualified to speak about. But I just like, yeah, you know, I don't know. I think that song, particularly from DC Talk, really like stands up in today's world.
Yeah, it does. All right, so before we get into the Veggie Tales portion of this, which I'm going to be so happy to do, I wanted to talk because growing up in a Christian family, I was wondering if you saw Bible Man at all from like if that was something you were watching at all. Because there was an entire.
I very much so.
Go ahead.
I very much so did watch Bible Man. not a ton. I'll be clear. This was more like I went over to my friend's house and they had the videos, so I watched them.
Yeah.
But yeah, they were they were a thing. That's for sure.
And it's even funnier because there's a lot of those that because there was an album like the official Bible Man soundtrack, whatever, which had nowhere near all of the songs that were in the entire show. That thing went through like 3 different iterations of its theme, and none of them were on there except for the latest one. And I was like, I want to hear the original one. But
if anybody's still watching this after realizing that it's a podcast about Christian music, if like, okay, you got to imagine. Okay, so Bible Man is Batman meets the meets like Medea.
I would not say Medea.
I mean, come on. All right, so like an overtly Christian like musical.
Yeah, okay, that I'll give you.
That included a superhero with his own like bat cave and stuff, and he put on the full armor of God.
Yeah.
The helmet of salvation, the breastplate of righteousness.
I could go the whole thing. But funny enough,
and then to cap it all off, the sword of the Spirit, which was a lightsaber. It was a freaking yellow lightsaber.
Yes, it was. It was glorious.
If you ever want to see the most cringy thing ever, but also just hilarious, go check out a Bible Man. It's so funny.
The cheesiest cringe. It's awesome. That's absolutely hilarious.
Yes.
But yeah, because there were a few songs from there I wanted to touch on, mainly the villain songs, because the villains had the best songs, and it was just so great.
I'm gonna be honest, don't recall a ton of the songs. I'd have to rewatch it.
I mean, I can send you a link. You'd have to skip the first 40 seconds of every video, but you'd hear the song.
Yeah. Cool.
But yeah. So we're gonna just skip right over that.
Get back to that later.
Let's put a pin in that. There it is. We'll just stay there and get dusty until it falls off on its own. Anyway, so let's go to VeggieTales. The entertaining portion of this, which was cool, because there was a channel I'm following recently, and they broke down what happened with Big Idea Productions or Entertainment or whatever they were called. And I was like, this is
Big
so,
idea.
yeah. And it was just so cool. Because I remember as a kid going on Big Idea Kids and just playing all the VeggieTale games that were Flash, and I was like, these are awesome and incredibly annoying. Because some of them were ridiculously difficult. But it was fun nonetheless, because that's all I had. It was Gaithers, Daystar, TBN, superheroes. That's it.
Daystar. Holy cow.
Yeah. But yeah, let's see. After that, what's it called? But we all know the VeggieTales is really just it was a nice Bible story. It was a nice story, but the things that we all remember most that we can sing at random are the silly songs with Larry.
Yes,
and
indeed.
those are funny. They were great writing. And
to preface, because I know a lot of people hear VeggieTales and like make fun of VeggieTales.
Yeah.
But they also had kind of a departure when Big Idea shut down.
Yeah.
And then they were sold to NBC, I think, and it just kind of went downhill. But originally, when VeggieTales came out, it was like Monty Python for kids.
Yes.
It was like just so funny, and like so many references that adults like could get and laugh at.
Yeah.
I've gone back as an adult and watched some of those old videos. Like I've got a ton of. Well, I used to have them. I think we got rid of them, but I used to have like every single VeggieTales video.
Yeah.
It was the best Christian cartoon ever.
Yes.
It was so good.
And in the early days of CGI, it was the best.
Yeah.
What it was.
Absolutely.
It was awesome. Anyway.
I mean, Junior Asparagus' hair was weird looking, but you know.
Junior had a fro. Let's not cut corners here. He had a fro.
She had like a cubed fro, though. It was like they couldn't make perfect spheres yet.
He had a polygonish fro, we know.
Yeah.
Like polygons in the form of as close to a circle as they can get, then like, that's his fro.
Yep. All right. So with all that, yes, the best thing ever that from VeggieTales was the silly songs, and so now we're gonna do the top 5 silly songs with Larry.
So before we get there are some songs I just want to bring up that I'm not sure you know that have happened, but definitely one of them was Charlie Daniels Band did a song for Minnesota Cuke.
Oh, wait, really? Charlie Daniels Band did it? I did not know that.
They wrote a Minnesota Cuke theme song. It is, I have not heard it in a while, but I just remembered it. It's awesome. Newsboys, the Michael Tate Newsboys that's out like now, they did a song for the League of Incredible Vegetables.
Oh, wow. See, that's one I haven't heard of even.
Yeah, that's funny.
That's awesome.
But then I think it was Reliant K who did a remix of We Are the Pirates Who Don't Do Anything.
Yeah.
And I was going to bring that up, but I was like, I have to hold this. And then this was going to be one of my favorite songs because it's still good.
Mm-hmm.
But it was definitely going to be Newsboys before Michael Tate. They did the Belly of the Whale song for Jonah, a VeggieTales movie.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, that was my song.
In the belly of a whale.
I could, and the best part, anyway, the whole thing. I think that's it, though. I think, as far as I can remember, I think that's all the songs I can think of off the top of my head that they did. And it's just that those there were just, they made something better. It's cool.
Yeah.
But yeah. So getting to the silly songs. Let's go.
All right, silly songs. There's so many good ones. I think my top one or my number 5.
Yeah.
It's got to be "Oh Santa" from The Toy That Saved Christmas.
Oh.
This is
Right.
so funny. So it's Larry the Cucumber staying up late waiting for Santa to come, and he's got 3 cookies.
And it's like 3
He's
different people
saving for
dressed as
Santa.
Santa get each. Oh yeah, that's great.
And then so the first person, he gets a knock on the door. It comes in, and I'm a bank robber, and I've come to rob your bank. Oh yes, I've come to rob your bank. And so Larry makes friends with him, and he gives him a cookie because he doesn't have any nickels or dimes. He has cookies. So he gives him a cookie. And then there's another knock, and it's, could it be Santa? And it's not. It's a Viking this time. And it's Pa Grape. He's come to step on your chickens and soil your quilts. Is literally a line. And so Larry's like, I don't have any of those things, but I've got cookies. You can have a cookie. And then the next knock on the door, and it's a member of the IRS. And he's come to, and then the door slams on him, and then Santa shows up, and it's Bob the Tomato as Santa, and he has his verse, and then he realizes that the bank robber is wearing his hat, and the Viking has his belt, and he chases him off, and then Larry says Merry Christmas, and the IRS agent comes and takes his last cookie because he didn't claim it.
Oh man, it's so messed up. It's so great.
It's so good.
It's so good. Oh man. Oh man, what's my favorite?
Like I can literally sing that entire song. Like I'll never forget it. It's so good.
But yeah, let's see.
But as a kid, I never got the whole like IRS joke that did you claim that? Because he walked in and he's like, did you claim that? And Larry shakes his head, and so he just takes it.
That's great. Yeah, let's see. So, what's my number 5? It's so hard to choose. It's so hard. Oh, great. Because I have so many, especially bubbling in my head right now.
Yeah.
Oh, you got to pick one. Okay, I'll go number 5 is a more recent one, but it's still good. It's Pizza Angel from the Minnesota Cuke and the Search for Samson's Hairbrush. Do you remember this one?
I vaguely remember it.
Okay.
I've definitely seen Minnesota Cuke.
Yeah.
It was a little after my time. This was after they sold the NBC.
Yeah.
So I don't have as like ingrained in my memory.
Okay.
But I remember it. Was that another one that was like Boys in the Sink?
No, Boys in the Sink. No.
That was Belly Button. I know.
Yeah, that was Belly Button. Yeah, that was great. But yeah, no. But no, Pizza Angel is literally. Was
it Mr. Lunt? Did Mr. Lunt sing it? Like I swear it had.
Nope. No.
I don't remember that song.
It was Larry had just ordered a pizza. And it's like, it literally starts with like narration. It's like, I got the munchies on that fateful night around 8 o'clock. So I phoned in a pizza for delivery. I waited for hours. No pizza.
Oh, right. It was making fun of Trapped in the Closet, wasn't it?
I guess. I don't know. But it was hilarious because, what was it? The whole thing is just they're going around, and the only reason he didn't get his pizza was because his house number was broken. So instead of being a 6, it was a 9. And then, like,
go ahead and keep talking. I'm just trying to find the chorus.
And it was like Jimmy or whatever, one of the other gourds. It's like, your house number is broken, so I couldn't find you. I was getting kind of hungry.
Okay. So I remember this one.
Ate your pizza. Yeah, sorry about that. You don't need to tip me or anything. I'm like, My first thought is, why would I tip you? You just ate my pizza. Exactly.
Pizza Angel, please come.
We're gonna get copyright claimed on this bit. We're gonna get claimed so hard. Oh, that's great. Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna you have to cut that. We're gonna get claimed. Uh-oh. But yeah. That's no good. That's great. So, yeah, that's my number 4. That's my number 5. Oh man, I wanted to see what his number 4 would be, but he ain't here right now, so I don't know what to do, and I can't exactly pause this because we're live. So, yeah. Oh, here he is. Can't get back.
Hey, sorry about that.
Yeah, no worries. But yeah, so that's definitely my number 4.
Yeah, we're so yeah, I was just looking it up. I do remember that song.
It was so great. Yeah. Let's try not to play any more songs.
Oh, what was your number 4?
I didn't go to number 4. I was waiting for you to say your number 4.
I heard Pizza Angel. I didn't hear your number 4.
We're gonna go back like we did before. So it's like you say your 5, I say my 5, you say 4, I say 4. We go back and forth that way. So I was waiting for you to say your 4.
Oh, gotcha. Apologies.
Yeah. No worries.
All right, my number. Yep.
Yeah, I can't
Gotcha.
hear you.
My 4.
Yeah.
Got a movie. My 4 did get a movie made about it, even though it wasn't the best movie. But
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Hello? Am I coming through at all?
No. You're good. I was just like, as soon as you said it got a movie, I was like, I know exactly which one you're talking about. Wait, can you not hear me?
You're like frozen for me.
Ew. I was or I am?
Wait, now it is. Now you're good.
Okay, cool. What I was saying was...
So yes, my number 4 is The Pirates Who Don't Do Anything. It's the greatest, man. The greatest 2 characters without eyeballs ever, and Larry the Cucumber, Pa Grape and Mr. Lunt.
Mr. Lunt, yes.
And okay, so I'm sort of just laying these out for if people haven't heard them. It's literally 3 guys in recliners watching TV in pirate outfits. And then, so the first verse, Pa Grape goes on about how he's never been anywhere in the world. He's never been to Tampa, and he's never been to
Moscow. He's never been to Boston in the fall.
Yeah. He's never been to St. Louis or St. Paul. But yeah, so then, yeah, okay, cool. And then Mr. Lunt, it's his turn. He comes up and he's saying all these piratey things, like he's never swapped the poop deck, and he's never hoisted the mainstay. But he's never been to Boston in the fall, because that's, for some reason, that's a pirate thing. I don't know. And then you go into Larry, and he just starts saying,
I've never sniffed the stink bucket. I've never licked the spark plug.
I've never nailed my mashed potatoes up against the wall. And then the other 2 are like, "What are you talking about? You're supposed to sing about piratey things."
I never kissed that chipmunk. That's just nonsense. Why are you bringing it up? Am I right? What do you think?
I think you look like Captain Crunch.
No, I don't. I hear the whole thing.
You're making me hungry.
He was like, "That's it. You're walking the plank." So great.
And then Larry finishes again, tries again, and fails even worse. And then they're just like, "You just don't get it. But We've never been to Boston in the fall.
Pass the chips.
Who's got the remote? Time for Toronto.
Definitely
For what?
Loch Ness.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so great.
Oh boy.
So great.
So that's my number 4.
Oh, my number 4. Okay, now I go for my number 4. Oh, my number 4. Let's see. I gotta think. I got my top 3, but I gotta settle that. It's like I gotta get to my top. I get what's 4? What is 4? Oh, it's like I'm trying to shuffle them all, and it's just like, just give me one. These are so great. My number 4 has to be "Song of the Cebu."
Okay.
Usually it's like up there, but I'm like the ones I really want to get to. I gotta keep them for later.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
it's interesting because this is like, I think the only sequel that I can think of, like it's a sequel song.
Is it?
Because there was the Water Buffalo song, and Archibald comes in and tells him to stop being so silly. and then so it's this running joke that this asparagus named Archibald is like it's straight out of Monty Python. He's just like, stop it, I'm in charge, stop being so silly.
He's the producer of these segments, and he's just like, I've had enough of your stuff. I've had enough of your crap. It's not work.
So then this one he introduces it and is like, introducing in a stereophonic multimedia event,
the Song of the Cebu.
And then it's just Larry
with a slide projector
with a bed sheet and a slide projector.
Oh, it's great. Oh. Archie interrupts it like twice.
Yeah.
It's so great. It's like, does the boy see them? Why is the sad Cebu sad? Is the boat wood or aluminum?
Is the boy injured?
Why?
I'm really disappointed with you about this.
Even as they're leaving, it's like,
So anyways, so he's putting on this Song of the Cebu. It's the story of these 3 Cebu and a little boy in a canoe. Whatever.
His canoe. Little boy and his 3 Cebu. Got a sad Cebu, a mad Cebu, and a mute Cebu. And also
but then so they get to that part, and then he mixed up the slides, so then parts of the song
photos
is just his vacation to like Spain.
Here's me and Bob at the airport.
Yeah,
this is me in a
Here's
bullfight.
me and my Aunt Ruth.
This is me in a bullfight. This is me fighting the bull. He is running away.
Yeah, it's me and the bull. And then Archibald comes in and is like, "What's going?" That's when the thing that Travis just said, where he's asking all the questions, happens.
No, that's actually at the end. It's like, what in the world is a Cebu anyway? It's like, it's kind of like a cow.
Well, but then he, yeah.
That was the first time. Then the second time was after it just gets cut off because you just keep getting looped and flipped, and it's a bad scene. It's funny, but it's bad.
It's a really good one. So the whole concept of that one was really funny.
So good.
I wouldn't say it's the best song to sing along with.
Oh,
but it's definitely a funny one.
Yeah. All right. So what's your number 3?
My number 3. Oh man. So I guess I'll split up the OG ones. So so I'm gonna go my number 3 again because it's not as easy to sing along with. I think I'll go with this one. I Love My Lips.
Yo, that's my number two. Oh man, I was gonna say that because I was this close to putting it at my number four, but I was like, it's more than that. I love that song. It's my number four. It's my number two. It's number two. Oh my gosh.
So, once again, it's Larry, and he's talking to Dr. Archibald because he's a doctor in this one.
It's so great.
he's trying to he's at a strength session.
Yeah.
He's trying to work out his problems, and all that he can talk about is his lip.
And it's like even the Rorschach test. It's like, what is this? That looks like a lip.
It's a lip. It's a lip.
It's a lip. It's a lip. It's a lip. It's a lip. It's a lip. 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 Basically, does the William Tell overture with lip.
Yeah. Larry, tell me about your childhood. When I was just 2 years old, I lived out in the golden blue. What could I do?
Hey, I could do that whole song. That was like my, even to this day, that's still my jam, and I want to do the whole.
I can do the. Oh man, I don't know if I can still do it. I used to know the entire thing, but 10 days after I turned 8, I got my lip stuck in a gate. My friends all laughed, and they just stood there until the fire department came along with a crowbar, and I had to spend the next 6 weeks in lip rehab with a kid named Oscar who got stung by a bee right on the lip, and we couldn't even talk to each other because both of our lips were so swollen. So Oscar only spoke Spanish, so I only know 3 words for Spanish, except now I know 4, and because Oscar taught me the word for lip.
Gusta. Your friends all laughed.
Gusta.
How do you spell that? I don't know.
So what you're saying is,
when
I love my lips.
Oh my gosh! Yeah. Oh, that's so great. I already told you how I feel about my nose. Oh, look at the tie.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it's so good though.
So good. My number 3. Man, my number 3. I want to say. Oh no, I'm saving that for number 1. That's definitely my number 1. That's definitely my number 1. Definitely number 1.
Definitely.
My number 3 is actually going to be Endangered Love.
Oh, all right.
And that's only number 3 because literally this past Thanksgiving, before all this went down, my sister came down and we went through this whole nighttime this whole nighttime light show thing with Christmas lights or whatever. And my nephew was with us, and literally my sister looks at him and goes, "Look, Oliver, there's a manatee." You hear me from the back going, "Barbara, manatee, manatee, manatee." And my sister goes, "That was the first thing popped in my head too. I just didn't want to say it." I was like, "Yes, this is great. This is so great." So that whole thing is just great. Just that moment's why it's number 3 for me. Just that one moment. It's so good.
Yeah, I have tons of memories of this. Again, to preface this one, Larry's obsessed with a soap opera called Endangered Love.
Yes.
Starring one of the characters is Barbara Manatee. If you don't know what a manatee is, it's also called a sea cow. It's a giant, walrus-looking thing without the tusks.
Yeah.
So the whole song is just him singing this love song to a stuffed manatee.
It's so good. It is so good. Oh.
And then Bob comes in and is like, Larry, are you okay?
Yeah, Mom, I'm just watching TV.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So what's your number 2?
And he's like, see. All right, my number 2, I said I was going to split them up, but I changed my mind because I can do that. My number 2 is, I'm pretty sure it's the second silly song with Larry ever, and that is the Hairbrush song.
Oh, where is my? I love this one. Now, this is funny because this was brought up in the video I was talking about. If you put these in order, or some semblance of order, there is a storyline for Larry throughout all these. And it's like, this one he realizes he's bald and he doesn't need the hairbrush. It's just kind of always been there. Which I'm like, that's really funny. And then it's like, we're going to get to my number 2, which because I had to change it because you took my number 2, so I had to fix it, and we'll get that one in a second. But it's such a good song. And it's like, he just stepped out the shower, so it's like, and they don't have clothes anyway, which is really funny. So I'm like, how does with the exception of bow ties, what's the difference?
Yeah. I don't know, man. It's just the sight of somebody in a towel. So with this one, Larry just got out of the shower and he's looking for his hairbrush desperately. He's got to style his hair, and people hear him like lamenting, "Where's my hairbrush?" and come in and see him in a towel and are very embarrassed, and then say something and leave.
Yeah, it was, and in order, it's Paul Grape. It's like, "How's the guy's hairbrush back there? Back there, with my hairbrush. Back there, with my hairbrush." You know.
And then it's the second in order. It's Junior Asparagus. Saying,
it's like,
"Why do you need a hairbrush?
You don't have any hair." He's like, "No hair." And it's like, there's even like a spot on his head.
No hair? He'd never thought of this. What would become of him? What would become of his hairbrush?
And then
so he's having this like existential crisis about just realizing he has no hair.
It's so great.
And then Bob the Tomato comes in and tells him, "Hey man, that old hairbrush of yours, you never use it. You don't really need it, so I gave it to the Peach
because he's got hair." It's not even hair; it's just like zoom in and put like a light under his face. He goes, "He has hair." I'm like,
"Yeah."
So great.
And then he's just broken. He's lamenting life that his hairbrush is gone. And then the Peach comes in, and for some reason, he's also in a towel.
Both shocked and embarrassed at the sight of each other. Thanks for that hairbrush.
Yes, good has been done here. Larry smiles, still feeling a sense of emotional detachment to the hairbrush.
Take care of my hairbrush. Take care of my hairbrush.
My poor hairbrush. Back there.
I love my hairbrush.
The end.
Yes.
Takes a bow and there's roses thrown onto this.
It's so great. Okay, so my second favorite, my number 2 on this one, is definitely got to be his cheeseburger, or the cheeseburger song for Mr.
Long. You took my number 1. It's okay, I got backups.
That's what you get for taking my number 2, you jerk. And I love this one because it's so, like I said, it goes back to that storyline thing. Larry is in a bear trap, in a coonskin cap and wearing a bear trap. It's hilarious. And he's like, and this is the thing that's just great. It's Silly Songs is canceled until further notice.
Yeah.
So
right. So this is like another entry in that saga of, like I said, Water Buffalo and Song of the Cebu.
Yeah.
There's a few other ones. So this is another sequel technically, because he said he's going to speak to Bob about this with the Song of the Cebu.
And then he comes out with a statement from Veggie or whatever the crap. It was funny.
Yeah. Saying that Silly Songs is canceled because it's too silly and it's not being in any way educational or good for children. Right. So he's like, we're going to replace this segment with some real art.
Yeah, but it's even funnier though, because going back to this, if you basically watch. I think it was the next thing. It was like end of all the silliness or whatever. It was basically just Larry spiraling, I guess, is what it was.
Yeah.
And it was just all of this. It's just you just see Larry 6 slushies, Sundays, whatever, deep.
Yeah.
And to say it even.
Oh yeah, from the Silly Songs video. It was that like, and he's in that famous diner painting, but it's
Exactly. It's so great. It's like a video jukebox. It's great. They go over some of the old songs and just what led them to this point. It was awesome. But yeah. So then it becomes Love Songs with Mr. Light. And it's just the song is funny because if you break it down, it's about literally this guy falls in love with a cheeseburger. But then he wakes
Jerry
up.
Gord.
Yes, Jerry Gord, thank you. And it's just falls in love with a cheeseburger. And then wakes up, literally dreams about the cheeseburger, wakes up, sees bacon and eggs for half price at Denny's, and he's like, enters this whatever thing, and they it's just it's a great trip. Yeah. It's like the couple of dream sequences which are awesome.
So here's to be a little to expand on that. So it starts out, he said to her, I'd like a cheeseburger. And I might like milkshake as well.
She said
to him, I can't give you either.
He said it's
a cheeseburger, Bell. So anyways, she said, yes, it is, but they're closed now. But we open tomorrow at 10. So he spends the night in the drive-thru in front of the thing. He
doesn't even leave. He just sits there in front of the talk box. It's great.
But the whole concept is he's so hungry that he has to get a cheeseburger. But he's sitting there and waiting all night. And he has a dream. But like just the emotion in Mr. Lunt's voice when he's like,
it's even better. It's so great. It's like
so then the second verse, it's the morning, they still haven't opened, and he saw a billboard for Denny's.
Yeah.
But then it comes to the bridge, and it's like, cheeseburger, please do not get angry.
He'll come back here for lunch.
Because you're his cheeseburger.
And it's like, and the last verse of this is like it's like you're allowed to man, I ain't done tear you up. It gets faster. And the world
suddenly ran out of cheese, he would get down on his hands and knees to see if someone accidentally dropped some cheese in the dirt. And he would wipe it off for you, clean it off for you. He cleaned the dirty cheese up just for you. And then he does the little hair flip. He flips his hair back.
Not even that. It's just because it's like it's a part down the middle. So it's like two, and then he just goes. You are his cheese. Yeah. Even funnier. Come in next time. Here, Mr. Luntz. I thought you were going to sing about growing up in Connecticut.
I grew up in New Jersey.
Yes. Yes. This is great. Oh, but yeah, it is so good. It is so good.
Oh. Man, I'm torn between two for my number one now. That one was pretty good too.
Yeah. Oh man.
Dang. All right. So there's one that I sing more, like it'll just pop into my head and I'll sing it. And then there's one that I actually like more. I think I'll go with. Well, I'll give you my honorable mention for that one, and that's the.
Before we do
Larry's High Silk Hat.
Before we go into our For honorable, let's do some honorable mentions real quick because there's a lot to mention here, and these are so great.
Okay.
The first one that pops into my head.
So my first honorable mention then is Larry's High Steel Cat.
Yes.
Oh, sorry.
No, that's great because I was just like I wanted to mention that one, but I had another one that was technically part of like the Silly Songs of Larry, but still a song in the thing. That's fine. So go ahead. Sorry.
Gotcha. So this one was another one in that series of Archibald Asparagus trying to make silly songs into a classy thing. So it's got that like Rodgers and Hammerstein like bum ba da ba da bum ba da ba da bum ba da ba da bum. One day while he was waiting for the trolley.
Wasn't there also like a like this is also based off like some kind of like well-known musical number or something, like instrumental like classical music type thing? Because I could have swore I've heard this before, and they're like
it's I think the songs from Pirates of Penzance is the song that it's based on.
Okay.
Which is a big Rodgers and Hammerstein musical.
Okay.
But yeah, so it's to that tune too.
Yeah.
But like, so it's the story of Larry's wearing a high silk hat and he's got some chocolates on his lap. But
he's got a chocolate bunny.
He's waiting for the bus.
Yeah. It's so great.
So it's just like, but so he's getting hot. He doesn't want to take it off because he's styling in that high silk hat. And then, eventually it gets so hot, he's got to take it off and he puts it on top of his chocolate bunny right next to him. And he's like, nobody sit next to me. No, like, stay away. And then this giant gourd, and it says Gourd Jim on his t-shirt, and he comes in and sits next to him. It's just a great big George just sat upon my hat. A great big and ugly spot just spat. But he spotted the hat. He made it flat. Oh, what of that? Oh, tell me anybody. Now, what do you think of that?
It was so great.
But so I sing that like. I sing parts of that song all the time. It just pops into my head, and it just. But another thing that in that song, one of the greatest jokes ever, I think, is because he's every chorus he's like, oh, tell me so and so. I think Mr. Nezer's one. Art Veggie, who was the famous bowler in the Larry Bowling. So the very last one is this it's like a scallion or something.
Yeah.
He always plays the bad guy. But so he's like, oh, tell me, what was your name? And then he goes, they've never given me a name. I've been around since show 1, and I still don't have a name.
Right.
And that's how they end the song.
Oh my gosh, it's so great.
It's one of like the most meta Veggie Tales ever made, but it's hilarious.
One of my honorable mentions has to go to the Belly Button song because it introduced us to friggin' what is it?
The Boys in the Sink.
Yeah, Boys in the Sink. Is that? Oh, I'm looking for the actual thing here.
So were they all 3 Gourds? Was it Mr. Lunt, Jimmy and Jerry Gourd? I know Jimmy Gourd was in it.
Boys in Sync is Mr. Lunt, Larry the Cucumber, Junior Asparagus, and Jimmy Gourd.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
And by the way, Jimmy Gourd was the delivery guy for Pizza Angel, which is hilarious.
Yeah.
I was like, this is great.
He ate all the pizza at the end. That's right. I remember that song now.
Yes. So great. But yeah, definitely that one. Another one for me would be I just saw it here. So the yodeling veterinarian of the Alps. Do you remember this one?
Yep, Veterinarian of the Alps is pretty funny.
So great! It's so great. Oh,
He's gone a little loopy. In case you haven't heard yet, there's a couple of penicillin for your sickly Arctic boy.
This is the song for Veggie. They will feel better. And they will too.
It's past 2, but if I sing to your pregnant kitty,
She will feel better.
she will feel better in a day or two.
Oh my gosh.
Anyways.
I love the ending of that song because that's awesome. This is a song for your trap teddy. He looks uncomfy.
He looks unhappy.
I would be too. You will feel better in a day or two. Yodels, and it's like, yep, that'll do it.
Wait, this should work. Why is it working? And then of course the moral of the story is the point we hope we've made. If you go a little loopy, you better keep your nurse well paid.
Oh, that is so great. Yeah.
I got another honorable mention is the Schoolhouse Polka, where he's just singing about homophones.
Yeah. Oh man, that's great.
It's so good.
It's so good. Yeah.
Oh, it's just literally like there's a pair of pears. Like he just does a whole verse of like pears, and like words that mean or sound the same but mean different things because based on their spelling.
Yeah,
it's a pretty good one. I don't remember it as much because that was
after our time.
Again, this was later, after my time. But my niece and nephew have watched all of these and stuff, so I've heard it. But that was another one I really liked.
I have one, and it's completely funny because it's Larry trying to sing the blues, and it's hilarious.
Right. He's like, I got a cookie.
It's like,
so he's singing the blues. He's singing the blues with a famous blues artist called Blind Lemon.
That's hilarious. It's even funnier because he's like, "Here, take this ice cream." Oh, thanks. Now you back that ice cream. It's like, you took my ice cream.
Now don't you feel sad?
They took it away from me. There we go. It's also like, that's okay. I've got a cookie. It's like, what? No, you were almost there.
He grabs the cookie and breaks it with his guitar.
It's so great. It's like, poodle.
So good.
You're not gonna eat that poodle, are you? It's like, it's so great. Oh, it's so great.
Good old Blind Lemon.
The funny thing after that is actually after that he learns about polka or whatever music. So I thought that might have led into the other one, which I was hoping that was the case. I don't think it is. It's just whatever. But it's just so great.
I don't remember. It's been years, but that's real good ones.
All right. Man. So what do you have? If you don't have any other honorable mentions, I think we should just kind of wrap this up and talk about our number ones and just kind of go at that point. Because this is a great conversation, which I would love to have a longer conversation of, but StreamYard's not going to let me have all that much. So
for sure. So my number one, it was the cheeseburger song. We'll be very clear, candid here, but so this one by default, it's the last one that we haven't mentioned from the original Big Idea Silly Songs with Larry, except for the Water Buffalo song, which it's not. Is the Dance of the Cucumber, which is one of the funniest things. All right, well, it's both of ours number one, so we'll just talk about it now.
I wanted to bring it up. It was so good.
Yeah, it's so freaking good. So again, it's Larry's singing in the traditional Spanish, the song of the cucumber.
Right.
Bob the tomato will translate.
The Argentinian ballad.
Yeah, that's right.
The not song of the cucumber, dance of the cucumber. And it's like, listen to the cucumber, all the vegetables wishing they could sing as like he or whatever.
Well, it starts out dancing, right?
Yeah, it's dance, it's singing, dancing. It's like, I was dancing Uncle Louis' polka party. She was dancing Uncle Louis' polka party.
So Larry's singing in Spanish and Bob is translating it. So it's like, listen to the cucumber. How strong his voice is. Like
like a lion.
The word he sings is like a chorus of little birdies. But then it goes, okay, so he's talking about himself, and then he goes, look at the tomato. Isn't it sad? He can't dance.
It's like he can't sing.
He wishes he could sing strong and sweet like the cucumber, but he can't. He can't even whistle.
Okay. And then it's like, and now apparently this is a Disney thing or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's like it's like Junior Asparagus rushes in with his dad. He goes, Dad, look, come get a picture of the cucumber.
Come and get a picture of me next to the cucumber and his authentic Argentinian guard.
Okay, Junior, we better hurry.
We gotta hurry. I think one of the seven doors.
I think the doors have your mom confused with someone else.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Oh my goodness, it's so great.
You see a little pea just like,
say peas.
Peas.
Then it goes into dancing. Then it's, did you see me dancing Uncle Louis' polka party? No comprendo. No comprendo. I'll show you. No comprendo.
Adios. Then
let me sing you a song.
Then it ends with, this has been Silly Songs with Larry. Tune in next time to hear Larry say,
Bob is really angry.
I hope he doesn't catch me.
It's so hard to run
with his sombrero on the head.
It's so great. It's so great. I'm about to watch all of these friggin' some silly songs, and it's gonna be great.
Yeah.
But yeah,
like comedy gold as well as just like earworms, dude. Earworms for days.
Exactly.
Like all of these songs that we've mentioned, except for Pizza Angel, I don't really remember a ton of. I remember the chorus now though, but like Pizza Angel,
please come to me. Tomato
sauce and cheese so good. So like, but all of these songs that we've mentioned besides that, I think I can like word for word do like karaoke time or whatever, you know, like they're so memorable. And like, but on top of that, it's especially the early ones, it's literally like Monty Python sketches inside of these catchy songs.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's like one of them, and it's not even just the silly songs with Larry. They have awesome songs within the episodes themselves.
Yeah, I just to go ahead and like shout out some of the non-silly songs, like the Bunny song. Me and my sister still sing that. We're in our 30s. We sing the original Bunny song. Let's be serious, because they changed it. They re-released it and changed it and made it lame because they couldn't say like they were just talking about like health food instead of like disrespecting your mom and dad and going to church.
But that was the point, though. He was the bad guy.
Yeah.
So it was his own.
Yeah, but it was all these little kids running around being like, I won't go to church and I won't go to school. That stuff is for sissies, but bunnies are cool.
Oh, it's even better. Oh, I want to play that on the guitar for my nephew and just be like, the bunny, whoa, I am the bunny.
But now I feel sick in the head.
Yeah, it's like another one of my favorites. I'll catch myself kind of playing in the back of my head is literally from Joshua and the Big Wall. All the peas singing "Keep Walking."
Yeah, dude, days ago, like 2 days ago, I was singing that song "Keep Walking." I was like, "You silly little pickle, you silly little peas, you think they're walking around on your knees." We clearly demonstrated, but out here in the hot sun, perhaps you're dehydrated.
I love how they made the peas French. It's awesome.
Yeah,
It's so
French
great.
peas, they're so great. What's another one? Oh, from Rack Shack and Benny. Well, pretty much that whole video is gold.
What is good?
That whole like
from beginning to end, friggin' Laura's song that introduced us to
Good morning, George.
How are you?
I hope you're feeling fine. It's almost
almost whatever.
Having got the time. Yeah. Because we work real hard at the chocolate factory.
You start at 8 and we don't
get much till 3. I'd like to take a break.
For goodness sake, the Mr. Nazar says you can't. I was like, that's funny. Because it works so
then
well.
Mr. Lunt comes in.
Oh my gosh, yes. The whole scene with Mr. Lunt is hilarious. The whole bit with Mr. Lunt is hilarious. It's like, excuse me, Mr. Lunt, I have an injury. He's got an anvil on him. He's about that tall. He goes,
now get back on the line. You'll be just fine. With all this work to do, we've got no time for sympathy.
I love this.
But then like even the big like climax song at the end,
stand up, yes.
They told us stand up for what you believe in, believe in God.
He's the one to back you up.
We'll stand with you.
This is so great. I gotta go back and watch some of these because these are just great now. But one of my one of the songs that usually I haven't thought about for a while. It's actually the Rumor Weed song. If you remember this.
Yeah. Okay. So, quick note. Remember how I mentioned that this video already with the W's? They did the Rumor Weed song for the end credits.
No, I'm talking about the one the Rumor Weed actually did. The song itself, yeah. That's so weird.
But yeah, the end credits is that song, and the W's.
Oh, the Rumor Weed.
Yeah. I'm a rumor weed. Yes, it's true.
Rumor Weed. Oh man, there was one. I'm trying to think of what the song was from the original, like Fib from Outer Space. I can't remember.
Boy.
Oh yeah, there was that theme. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the one I love is actually the Bumbleberg Groove remix of that, because in the middle, Larry has his like little rap section.
Yeah. Purple and yellow, he's one super pepper.
So great. So great.
Like all the music. Even if you want to go back to the first one, Where's God When I'm Scared?
Oh yeah. I can be your friend.
Yeah. Yeah.
Share my cello.
What was the song when like freaking Frankencelery shows up?
God is bigger than the boogeyman.
Yeah.
He's bigger than Godzilla. Oh, the monster's
The
on
monster's
TV.
on TV. Oh, God is bigger than the boogeyman, and he's watching out for you and me.
It's so great. Oh man.
Like,
I think our next
songs are bangers, dude.
yeah. I think the next thing we should do, like after this, is just rank like our we should do like a tier video of all the VeggieTale stuff.
Yes, I'd do that.
Yes, let's do that. Oh my gosh, I'd have to get on the tier thing and just I'm gonna do it. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be awesome. But
Heck yeah.
So instead of continuing
there's definitely some stinkers. Freaking Duke in the Great War can go right in that F class.
get in the bin. Yeah. So we're gonna cut it here. We're gonna probably definitely talk about this more because we still have things to do.
Oh yeah. Tons of things.
It's gonna be great. So I'm gonna end this broadcast here, and then we'll see you guys next time for another probably VeggieTale related content, which is gonna be great. So,
this is gonna be just like a whole new podcast. It's just gonna be like talking tales.
We're gonna go veggie shopping. Oh man. All right, so we'll see you guys later. Peace.
Peace.